I meant to ask this the other day, but in Lubbock, you called a timeout with like 8:20 on the clock right before the under 8 timeout was coming. What was the logic there? Were you just trying to get some extra rest for your guys?
Yeah, we were tired. I could see it. Trying to, get that media, because if you call it at the right time, it turns in, to the media. And I just felt like if we could get a stop, because I think we either went up 8 or 9 at that point. And if we just get another stop, we could, send us to get a little rest, not have to worry about subbing guys and stuff. So, yeah, just.
In that situation, especially without Day-Day, do you have to just think all game about, how you can steal some minutes on the bench for your starters?
Yeah, and we didn't do a good enough job of it, man. I think it was 37, 35, 30, and they try to keep it about 34, trust the other young fellas a little bit more. We could have been a little fresher at the end, but that's what you're constantly thinking about. Can we get somebody out before media, get them an extra break? How can, maybe get them out on a certain possession where, you feel like a certain point in the game. I don't want to end up, again, like what happened. We was trying to rotate in the last 6 minutes of the game to make sure everybody got a breather to finish the game. And then, you sub Will at 2:35. We give up an offensive rebound on the free throw. It turned out to be arguably the biggest play of the game. He should have been in there. That was my bad. And so hopefully, and you'd like to play every, with your full tilt and, some kind of normal rotation, but that's just not the case this year. And so we're piecing it together and figuring it out. But proud of our guys, how they're responding, right? We just have to help them more.
And how's Day-Day doing?
All right, he practiced today. He's going to be game time decision. I think he thinks he can play. We're going to have to talk as a staff and see what we saw out there and decide.
What's next?
Are the emotions any different this year compared to last year when playing against or coaching against Scott Drew? Because I know that was, something that, was on your mind going into last year's game.
Yeah, well, last year's the first game, right? Remember, they were they had lost their first 2 games of conference. And so if we win, that's a 3rd loss in a row. And I know what that does to a team and, how the media gets after it and all of that. And if we lose, that's not a good thing, right? So there was just that wasn't a good feeling going into that. And it wasn't Coach. Coach and I have coached against each other at practice all the time. And, we played basketball games against each other. He's a competitor. That's, mind competing against your brother. You hate that it turns into an L and it's a career thing, but or whatever it is. And so that's never. It's not how you would prefer to do it, but it's not like that was the reason, the build up to it. The second time, them dudes were rolling. They had played the best 20 minutes of the season against Kansas in the first half. The second half they didn't play well and ended up losing the game, but they were rolling. You knew they were. They were going to the tournament. Everything was fine. So it was like, we want to win at home, and it was a lot better the second time. This time, both teams are doing well. They're top 10 team in the country. I don't care where they're ranked. They're talent-wise, they're ridiculous, and we got to play really, really well. And so, once again, it's never fun, but I got to see him last night and hang out for a little while, and they just signed a big-time recruit, so they're feeling really good. And we got to win a game, so that's what the whole thought process is now.
Is there a specific area where you think you guys really need to improve to keep headed in the right direction during conference play?
Man, we just have to keep. I told y'all our word this year. We were forging, and we took a piece of metal and. We turned it into a weapon, and I think if you look our last 3 games, you'll say, man, them dudes are, they've turned into something, right? But we're not finished. We're not as sharp as we need to be. So there's a process. Our wall out there says iron sharpens iron. The way as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Now it's time for them to start helping each other and sharpening each other and holding each other accountable. That's the process in the team. When players start holding each other accountable and taking ownership of it, I mean, you improve a long way. And we felt like we gave one away at Texas Tech. And I think when they watch the film, they see it, right? And so they can coach each other through it and talk about it. And when they're, as a team, they are willing to take it from each other, right? That says a lot. And in the sharpening process, right, we've done the forging, pounding, heat and all that process, but now it's the sharpening, like tightening things up. In that process, the blade loses piece of itself, right? You gotta get rid of some of that metal to get a fine tip blade, right? You got to get rid of some of yourself in order to be as sharp as you need to be, and that's the process we're in right now. And so, hopefully it results in us defending a little bit better with better communication and us not turning the ball over by hitting singles and then finishing plays with two-hand rebounds that we don't get tipped away because we chin it. All the details of it, right? And so I like where we're going, and I think we're heading in the right direction. And I like where we're at right now. And you can do all those things and in this league still not win. So that's part of it.
Baylor ranks first in the country in three-point shooting percentage. What's allowed them this season to just be so successful from beyond the arc?
Well, they got really good players, and then they get the ball to the paint, and then they find the open shooter. They make the defense shrink, and they find the open shooter. And Ray J is as good as a point guard as there is in the country, but, I mean, Jacoby Walters is a top 5 projected pick, and Langston Love makes shots, and Bridges is shooting the ball way better, and you got Nunn, who's they've got dudes, like multiple of them, who can do it, but they do a really good job of taking the right shots, right? They move the ball and take the right. They rarely take like out of character shots, and that's what helps them.
You were talking about the sharpening of the sword. How much did the game this weekend help to that, to just learn through mistakes and when tough things happen, like calls or anything, just to move forward?
Yeah, that's all part of it. You wish you could do it through a win, learn through a win. That was a great road environment, right? And I think that was the first time we'd really faced a real road environment. And I loved how our guys responded. We were down. The crowd was going crazy. We locked down, got focused and made a great run. And every time in the second half, they made a run at us. We responded, and quieted the crowd. We just didn't finish the last 320 the way we were supposed to. And so, yeah, I saw there was definitely a lot of growth there. But this league just does that. Like the coaches, the players, you have to keep getting better. You have to. And I feel like we are doing that.
Coach, there was a point where you had, I believe it was 11 shot attempts and 10 turnovers, and the next thing you know, you're on a 20-0 run. Other than making shots, which is the obvious, what was different? How were you better in that stretch?
We just calmed down, calm down. The turnovers were an error of commission, right? They were trying to make a play and the home run play, and instead of just hitting singles. And I thought in that run that we had, we were just taking what was there and allowing our defense to create some offense for us too. So
when you watch, not sure how to ask this, when the guys watch film, are you always there to help them, or is some of that done on their own, or is it a combination of all of the above?
It's a combination of all of the above. You're really good guys, like guys who are really addicted to this game. As soon as it's over, they're on their iPad, on the flight back, and they're watching the game, and they're watching it to see how they could have done better, right? That's the first thing we do. We all look to see, okay, what can I have done differently to impact the game? And then we break it down as a staff, and we watch what we want to watch with the team together so we can get whatever points we need to get across. And then the staff divides up guys, and we watch them individually with them for different aspects of Coach Perry with offense, Coach Urick with defense, just Coach Ream with rebounding, just different things. And I bring probably multiple guys in together that I feel like need to hear each other's point of view and things so that we can all be on the same page.
Would ask you too about Misi. It just seems like he's just one of the guys that they use, the bigs, but he seems pretty advanced for such a young guy. How do you believe that he has helped them with their offense? Because their numbers are crazy.
Yeah, well, he's we always talk about 13 feet spacing, and he might have 15 feet spacing, right? Like his ability to get off the ground and his second jump and just go catch lobs. So he's putting like pressure on the rim every time he rolls. So you got to have somebody there, which then creates an opening for somebody as a 2-on-1 somewhere. And John Jacobs would say that guy that's guarding the 2-on-1 is screwed, right? And on film, he'd say, "Hey, who's the guy that's screwed?" And we just got to find the right one. So yeah, he puts a lot of pressure. And then defensively, right? He's such a rim protector, man. Like he does a terrific job, and he runs the floor, and he'll get in the passing lane. And I'm thinking of that play against Auburn where he got the steal and went down and dunked the and-one. It changed the whole game. And so, man, he's a terrific talent. They've done a great job there. Coach Brooks and Coach Peterson, who work with the bigs down there, they've done a terrific job.
How much are you looking forward to the home environment tomorrow?
Oh, I am fired up. Man, our people are back. I hope the snow didn't stop all of them from getting in, but I know them, and like they're here, right? They're in their dorms or apartments right now, fueling, hydrating, getting carb load in tonight, right? And they are going to be ready tomorrow. I know that. No doubt in my mind, our students are ready, and we need our alumni, our season ticket holders to do whatever they got to do, right? Y'all need a place to stay, come on over, right? Coach, you got some extra beds, I got some extra beds, right? Like if the hotels are booked, we got you. We need everybody in it's got to be the best. We have the best home court environment. We want to take it to a whole nother level tomorrow. When they leave, right, we want them to leave and say, man, I never want to play in that place again. So I'm fired up.
You got your quote.
Oh, that's even better. That's even better. Means they don't have to walk around the class and get worn out. They can stay in their room and stay warm and fuel up a little bit more. Yeah.
Anything else for Coach?
I said we got to open Bram earlier too, like so the students can get in there, right? Like we need we don't need them sitting outside in the cold, right? Let's go ahead. I don't know who's in charge of facilities around there, right? Thankful that they got us some heat in this building just now, and so but we need the students in the hallways. Let them stay in there and be warm, and then let them get to their seats.